What's up, mi gente? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about civilian plate carrier choices and what should you choose and how kind of set it up. Before we get into that, I just want to say continue to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all support. Share with a friend and hit that notification so you get notified of new videos. Enough about that. Let's talk plate carriers. So I'll start off with this is the Ajack 2.0 from Javlin Concepts. And I think this is one of the best plate carriers for a civilian plate carrier setup. When I say civilian plate carrier setup, I'm not just saying it for civilians, but in that market, there's a lot of guys looking to get a plate carrier, start off that don't have any knowledge, and this is a great place to start. When you want to get a plate carrier for training, could be for LARPing, personal protection, or for that SHTF event. You want to get something that, one, is maneuverable, two, is someone lightweight that you could build up and grow with, that has modularity, right? So you could add more things to it, and this guy fits that bill. Now, when I say civilian plate carrier setup, I say that because I see a lot of guys, whether I'm training, instructing, doing classes, that buy these plate carriers that are, super big, super cumbersome, very heavy. They struggle and they don't train with it, and they just have too much going on, too many pouches, etc. And that's fine if that's your mission set or you're using that for work, military, etc., whatever. But if you're just looking for a plate carrier to have for personal defense, you just need something kind of simpler, just some plates, a placard to hold, some extra mags and some other things that you need, and possibly a dangler. And I'll talk about all that today. Now, what brought me to this awesome plate carrier, which is the Javlin Concepts, was, for me at the time, I was looking for a new active shooter response kit setup. I was rolling with one on my truck for work purposes. I was on the RDF team, and it mandated us to have one on us at all times because we were on call. I was using at the time a Ferro Concept Slickster, which is a great plate carrier. It's actually right behind me here. Not the one I was using, but this is another one I have. And I use it now for tactical events, training. I have weighted plates in there. They're not ballistic plates. They have lead shot. They just, simulate the weight and what a plate is for like tactical games and whatnot. It's a great plate carrier. It was lacking in some areas for what I needed, and that's what brought me to this. So when I say you want something that's light, very well made, gives you modularity, this fits all those bills, and that's what we're going to talk about. So that's what led me to this Javlin Concepts Ajack 2.0. They make great gear. They're special forces guys, and they make plate carriers, chest rigs, some placards, and they have a pretty cool guarantee. I believe if you don't like it or it's not comfortable, they'll give you $100 back and let you return it. It's on their website. I don't think you're ever going to use it because, like I said, this is one of the most comfortable setups that I have. But anyway, let's talk about the features and benefits of this guy. So first and foremost, it fits the bill of what a slick carrier setup is, and usually slick plate carriers are just going to be a front, a rear plate bag, and usually an elastic style cummerbund. Not the cummerbunds that you see like on a Shaw Concepts Arc V2, which I've done a video, which is more of a structural cummerbund that holds weight, almost like you see here on the Slickster, which is an elastic cummerbund. This just has cells in it to fit mags, or like the T-Rex, I think it was the AC1, is also like a slick style. And one of the really unique things about this carrier that we'll talk about, just since we're on the subject, is their cummerbund. Their cummerbund here, also with spear tubes for quick on and off, but if you see this, it's an elastic style cummerbund, but it has rows of molly double stitched on both sides, so you could add load bearing items, i.e. like a GP pouch, miscellaneous pouch, flashbang pouches, etc. You can add an IFAK there. This cummerbund, although being elastic, has structure to it, so it won't sag. You could add weight bearing. That's very unique. You don't usually see that, and that really drew my attention because I love elastic cummerbunds in the fact that I've said this before in other videos, they really hug your body. I think they're more comfortable, for me anyway, than a shock cord, easier to adjust, and they take some weight off of you, being that they mitigate the weight over here in your midsection and off your shoulders a bit. So I really am a big fan of elastic cummerbunds, and this one was super unique in that it has the MOLLE stitching in it, and you can add like I said, GP pouches, etc. So that's one of the super cool features of this Ajack 2.0. You also get the front and rear plate bags, and they're a little unique in the way that they load their plates. They're top loading, right? Most plate carriers, you have to open the plate bag from the bottom, you shove the plate in, and it's Velcro closure. What happens is sometimes if your plate doesn't fill in the whole plate bag, you get sag, and you get some like here, a lot of extra material on the top, and hangs a little bit from the bottom. With the top load, it really fits the plates super tight, and everything's nice and tidied up. If you see these, they just have a strap here that are on the top that are just Velcroed in, that as that strap comes off, your plate slides right out of it, and it slides in. It also has elastic on the sides, so these plates fit super tight. As I've said before in the videos, for guys that are new, that never had a plate carrier, fit the plate carrier to your plates, not to you, meaning if you wear an XL shirt, you're not getting an XL plate carrier. If you're a bigger guy, you're going to have to get bigger plates. And when I say bigger plates, like if you're running 10 by 12s, that's usually a medium plate carrier for these 10 by 12 size plates, or 9.5 by 11.5. Usually it's 10 by 12. If you're going to get a bigger carrier, you're going to get 11 by like 13.5, etc. So these fit 10 by 12 plates in perfectly. They're top loading, which was super unique. The front plate bag gives you some nice Velcro panel here on the top, as well as on the bottom for any placards or whatnot, or you could keep it slick if you want to. Another thing about this carrier, without the placard, it is pretty streamlined and slick. You could wear it under a jacket, under a sweatshirt, and pretty much be concealable. It's going to give you some print of a plate carrier just because there are plates there, excuse me, but it covers it really, really well if you run no placard. They also give you a lot of laser cut MOLLE on the back panel, which I liked. I didn't have that with my Slickster, and that was also led me to this guy because I wanted to be able to attach panels and whatnot. One of the things I definitely attached to this, and for my guys on duty, I'll just show you guys. I don't use it anymore because I'm not on the job and utilizing it like I used to, but it's this AXL flex cuff carrier by AXL, just MOLLEs in. And what I did is I always ran this panel right here on the back, MOLLEd in, and it was great for cuffs. I could reach them. A team member could go to my back and reach them. I was able to reach them, and I have short T-Rex arms, but I was still able to reach them. So great little product for you guys that are still on the job and need a flex cuff holder, or you just use a flex cuff holder. It could be military guys too, or anybody who wants to train with this. It's from AXL, and that's cool that they give you a good amount of laser cut MOLLE on the back panel, so you could MOLLE that in, or put any other back panel. Some nice Velcro here for identifiers and whatnot. Moving forward to their shoulder straps, nice streamlined, nothing big and bulky. They're very thin here, so what I like about that, easy to shoulder a rifle, doesn't get in the way, and it's also comfortable in that they just give you this, it's kind of a one wrap, kind of like a neoprene padding that is very, very comfortable. And if you don't want that, you could take it off, or I would leave it on because it's actually very comfortable, but you have the option of taking it off. They also give you some good one wrap on both of the shoulder straps for cable management. So it's really thought out, really good material, super easy to adjust on the shoulder straps. It's just a tri-glide on the back that you cinch back, and the extra tail tucks into the plate bag with Velcro, so it's held in there and in some place. So super easy to adjust there. We talked about the elastic cummerbund, and I'll show you guys when I put this on, how it looks and how it fits and all that. But super cool there with that. And we'll talk about the placard in a second. Let's go into the plates that I have in here. I'm running level 3 plus plates, or special threat plates. They're light. I really like these guys. They're about 2.6 pounds a piece, which is light. And now for the guys like, oh, you have to spend all types of money. There's so many, plate companies now. These guys are from Maverick Tactical, really a cool company. And I believe they're in Georgia. They're not super expensive. This was about 500 ish for the plate set for both plates, and they come in at 2.6 pounds. They're about 0.65 in thickness, so they're very thin as well. And there's a lot of videos of guys shooting them up and show that there's barely any deformation after multiple hits. So great plates. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. Now, yes, you could get light level 4 plates, like let's say Defender plates. I had those when they were issued to me. They were level 4 plates, and they were about 2.4 pounds a piece. But those things were Gucci money, over $1,000 per plate. I can't justify that spending now that I'm not doing it as for work purposes, and it's just for training, instructing classes, and my own personal defense. But hey, if you want to spend that kind of money, God bless you. Those are great plates. But I bring that up because you absolutely don't need level 4 plates for civilians that are talking about getting a plate carrier. Level 3 plus is sufficient. It's going to stop your 5.56, stop some 7.62. Handgun ammo. That's what you're going to encounter most of the time. If you're a military guy and you need it for a specific job or law enforcement, you might have to run level 4 just because of SOPs, like I did. And I have a separate plate carrier for that, my Shaw Concepts ARC V2, but that's load bearing. It's a heavy setup. It's over 20 pounds when you get said and done. We'll weigh this guy just to show you how light this also comes in. So that's the plates, level 3 plates from Maverick Tactical. Shout out to them. They make really good stuff. And where we go? Oh, let's go into the placard. That's pretty much all the features and benefits on the Javlin Concepts 2.0. I'll show you the back panel. It's super easy. It's just one wrap that wraps around. And as you lift that out of the way, there's your Velcro panel for your cummerbund. It only takes Velcro cummerbunds, not shock cord, which I actually like because I love Velcro style cummerbunds. They're easier to adjust than shock cord. You don't have to take the shock cord off and retie it every time you want to adjust this. You just unvelcro it and move it to a different spot. So it's nice and protected back there. And you just take the one wrap and wrap it around. As I showed you, the one thing with this top loading I'll talk about quickly because I have been asked about it is, yes, the plate, some of the plate is exposed like up here, but it's not an issue. Nothing's going to happen to your plates. They're not going to get messed up. The gray that you see are plate backers. So being that this is a slicker style, I'm not running any pontoons in there. I did put some Ferro Concept plate backers behind the plates. It's a plate backer is just a kind of like a foam pad that fits between you and the plate just to give you some comfort there, and also just to be a plate backer for its job intention. But on this Ajack 2.0, if you see when I turn this around, they do give you Velcro strips here, so you could add kind of the same padding that's on their shoulder or some pontoons if you want more padding. But it's really not needed. It's super comfortable just with the plate backers. So moving on to the loadout and the cummerbund that you see here. This isn't from Javelin Concepts. This is the Dynamic Principles placard. I really love their stuff just because of the modularity. You can choose so many different inserts and customize your placard tons of ways. It's just a laser cut, keep burping. Laser cut moly placard with a Velcro insert that has good retention, easy to re-index your mags. This is the micro moly. They also make a micro moly wide, which just happens to be wider, but again, they give you tons of laser cut moly in the front to attach. I also like that their placards are lower cut here, so you get a nice purchase on your magazines. Now these are the size of 20 rounders. These aren't 30 rounders. 30 rounders would probably be up here a little bit, but you still have a good amount of mag to grab, even with 20 rounders. On another plate carrier, 20 rounders would really be sunken in, probably just to my base plate, but I like the purchase I can get with these, and I'll talk about why I have 20 rounders in a second. Again, it's just the insert. This particular insert lets you run 2 rifle 5.56 and a pistol, or you could substitute a light for a pistol like I have. So just going from what I have in my insert, I have my Surefire GT2 Pro light, I think it is. Great light, 600 lumens, so it's nice and bright. And for a Surefire, they're under 90 bucks usually with a Theorem ring on there. That's what I run in that pistol pouch there. I have my 2 rifle mags, and then I do have a pistol mag in here, my Glock mag with an SLR mag plate extension, but it's a 0 extension because in my state you can only have 10 rounders. So these 20 rounders are 10 rounders in here. Yes, guys. What else is on this placard? What I also like about their Molly, they have Molly field on the side too. So on this side, I have the Dynamic Principles TQ sleeve with a Snake Staff Systems ETQ wide in there. I also run the Dynamic Principles cuff pouch in the front. Used to that from how I had it set up on the job, and I kept it that way because I still train with those guys. So a cuff pouch there. And on this side, I have a Theorem battery cell holder, so just hold some batteries. Always comes in handy, whether it's your optic or your lights. And especially when I was on the teams, there was always guys that needed batteries, and I always had them on me, so I like to keep them. They also give you some elastic sleeves on both sides of the placard, and I usually put a chem light in there. You can put a Sharpie, something like that in there. And then I run my shears behind my placard. I do that on all my setups. I believe the company, it's just a sheath that has Velcro that just Velcros behind your placard. I believe it's VX Concepts. AXL Advanced sells them super cheap. They're like 10 bucks, but they hold your shears right here. I like just running my shears there. And that's basically how I have my placard set up with G-hooks instead of buckles. They're just a little more slimline. Again, this placard just Velcros in just like that. And you just Velcro it over just like a placard. Super Dynamic Principles makes really nice placards. And again, you could customize them any way you want. You could do all rifle mags. You could do pistol, then 2 rifles. They have tons and tons of inserts. That's why I love them. We talked about the back panel. Another thing I like to run on my setup. You don't have to, as a like a civilian plate carrier that we were talking about. Just like this is a great setup. You can run it slick if you want as well, but you should running a placard with it is great. You could run your mags, whatever extra you have. If you need to run a radio with this guy, you can on a wing if you wanted to, or run like a multi-purpose pouch that fits a radio and molly it into your elastic cummerbund if you wanted to. As I was saying, I like running a dangler with my setup full of medical. This is a Faro Concepts dangler. I do like it. I like the size of it. There's 2 things that I'm not the biggest fan of. One, if you've seen my previous videos, I really like the dangler from Shaw Concepts, their Arc, the Raid, right? Their Raid pouch. One is because it gives you a Velcro sleeve with a tube, and it's a tube setup, so it's easy to take on your dangler on and off. This guy's going to be Velcroed behind your placard, and to get this off, you have to lift your placard and unrip it if you do want to toss, your medical. This is basically a bigger IFAC, and I like the tube better, but I had it, so I do use it on this setup. Another little thing for anybody who runs this dangler knows this tourniquet sleeve on the outside isn't the best. It doesn't really retain, so your tourniquet can fall out of it. So just be conscious of that. With the ETQs from Snake Staff, it kind of bites into the Velcro, but even when I ran like a cat tourniquet in here, I had tons of times where it fell out. Not the best, but the way this dangler fits for all the guys that never ran one, you kind of just lift up your placard and Velcro it in right that, and there it is right on there. Great to run medical. Yes, I run a battle belt with an IFAC on me as well, but I like running extra medical. Again, it's not something you absolutely need, but if you want to run a dangler, you could keep other items in here. It doesn't have to be set up for medical. You could just set it up as like a multi-purpose pouch that you have on you. And just looking to see if I missed anything. No, that's basically it. I'll throw it on just so you guys could see how it fits. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you the weight of this guy. So we're just going to put it in the hanger. And I talked about it being lightweight. have my scale here, and you saw this Gucci Nordstrom's hanger. That's pure wood. It came with my suit or something. So I'm not even going off the weight of the hanger, which is probably not that much. But let's weigh this baby with everything we got and the dangler, and we are at 13.8 pounds. That's light, guys, for a full setup with a full placard, a full dangler. Without that dangler, I'd probably say it's probably maybe a little over a pound, so it's probably 12 pounds this setup. That's what I'm talking about. That's something that you could wear comfortably, maneuver, have it on all day. I've worn this guy all day and don't even feel it. So that's something that you want to do. Wear your stuff, train with it. Let's throw it on real quick just to show you guys how it fits. Let me just take this mic off so I don't whack it off my head, guys. Put that down here. Oh, one thing I did. Sorry, guys. Let me re-mic myself. I did miss one thing on the carrier. I do run a wing. This is specifically made by Dynamic Principles for the SOCP Benchmade Dagger. It's called the SOCP Dagger Wing. And what I like about it, it's just a little wing, but it runs this SOP dagger right on the side of the plate. So right on the plate side, so it doesn't take up any real estate. You don't feel it on your, like a wing here, and it's right there. So I have a little dagger just in case I gotta, open some letters or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But right there, that's another something I forgot. Now we went through everything. Let me throw this on. Like I said, let me just take this mic off, guys. Put this on. Super comfortable setup. I love this plate carrier. That's why I wanted to share with you guys, especially for you guys that are newer to it, that are buying some kit. Tubes are great, these spear tubes, because it just sets on, opposed to lifting everything on and velcroing your cummerbund. It could come, you could come with Velcro attachments or tubes. I suggest tubes just because of that aspect. It's super easy. But this is the plate carrier. Very, very comfortable. The shoulders sit right where they need to. I don't feel any hot spot. Doesn't dig into. It's very, very comfortable and light. And just so I'll see you guys how it fits. Just like that. Back panel. Here's your dangler. I've said this in previous videos. I like to keep my strong side slick. Don't like anything in the way of my draw of my secondary, which is really my primary as law enforcement. But I usually keep this side very slick. If I was going to put, or I do sometimes put a GP pouch here, or a multi-purpose pouch that fits my radio, which is a biofang that I use, civilian style radio for communications. You could use a wing, but remember this cummerbund, even though it's elastic, it could be weight bearing. You could have it. So this is a great loadout for a civilian plate carrier. Again, you don't have to have a cuff pouch here. Again, I have it because it was law enforcement based, but this is how I would run it. I didn't talk about the 20 rounders. What I was saying is, I get this question a lot, is why'd you run with 20 rounders? When we were on the SWAT teams or Rapid Deployment Force, we ran in teams. We didn't use a lot of mag storage. Some guys would only have a rifle mag minus the mag that you had on you, or in the gun it's 2 mags there. The most we would run is 2. We're in a team of guys, right? We're coming in a bunch of guys deep. We've never gotten into firefights like that, gunfights. I've never fired my rifle, only in training. Thank God for that. But again, law enforcement is different from military setups where, military guys, you need a lot more loaded out mags. For law enforcement SWAT guys, you usually have no more than 2. So that's why you see like this. It's going to be more pistol mags. And I would have had loaded out more on here on the Molly. You would have seen my taser pouch and my body cam pouch as well, with the cuffs and all that. That's how we would have it loaded out. But this is what I use now as my active shooter response. That's why I keep the cuffs on. And this guy, like I said, super comfortable for somebody looking for their first plate carrier. This is a great option, something that you can build up with as you go and use it and see what your needs are. Oh, okay, I need a GP pouch for these items, or I'm going to add a dangler, etc. As far as price, it's not super expensive. It's on there on the market like anything else. It is a little more than like a Slickster. When you're buying a Ferro Slickster, you get the whole thing for about $200. This guy is about $400, $390-ish. You get the plate bags, right? But this gives you more modularity than the slickster, and that's why I like it. This gives you the ability to have kind of both a slick style setup that's light and maneuverable, and you could also build it into a load bearing setup. If you needed to run a back panel, you can. You have the MOLLE back there, and if you needed to run pouches on your sides, you can. Even though it's an elastic cummerbund, it could have weight on it. So I just like the versatility of this guy. So it was about $390. They come in a lot of colors: multicam, Ranger green, wolf gray, coyote brown. Sometimes they have specialized like camos, like multicam black and jungle stripe. And also you can find on a deal. When I bought this, it was during Black Friday, so I saved like 15-20% on the whole setup. You don't have to get their cummerbund. You could just get the plate bags. But this is a great cummerbund, even if you have it for a different plate carrier. I just love the uniqueness of it. I just can't say it enough on how it's elastic, but you can load weight on it. I just think it's super cool. So this is the setup from Javlin Concepts. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. This attachment right here is from my PTT if I'm running comms. I didn't show you that. And I get this question too: why do I always run a tourniquet here? This is like my go-to tourniquet for me. I'm just used to training with it here. So usually I run with at least 3 tourniquets on me. You know, the one on my kit here, one on my IFAC and my battle belt, and usually I have another one here on my belt, and or I have another here on my dangler. So it's either 3 or 4 tourniquets. You could always have, you can't have more, you can never have more than enough tourniquets, so it's good to have more than one. You have more than one limb, and you never know if a buddy needs one or a bystander, so it's good to have that. And that's basically it, guys. Check out Dynamic Principles for their placards, pouches, and gear, and check out Javlin Concepts for their Ajack 2.0. Amazing plate carrier, something that's modular, slick at the same time, load bearing, kind of fits all the bills. Super great company and great plate carrier for you guys that are looking to get in one, get something that you could grow into and build as you go. I think this fits the bill, and that's why I wanted to show it to you guys, and that's kind of why I said for me it's the best civilian plate carrier setup that you can, and it's lightweight, as we said, at 13.8 pounds with the dangler. I really don't feel this guy on. Super comfortable if you're sitting down. That's another thing you want to take into effect. Something that, a plate carrier that you could sit in a vehicle with, right? You're going to be mobile. We're not all just, I know it's easy to look at, military guys, because that's kind of the standard, and see their loadouts. And I see that often too much, guys kind of just seeing what they saw in a picture and setting it up like that. And they don't understand that wearing this stuff, one, isn't easy for hours, running with it, training, shooting. That's all things that you have to really build up your endurance and train with to feel comfortable with. And as you do that, you'll know, okay, now I need to add this on. So really just start with some plates and a carrier and go from there, build a placard up for what you need. And that's my advice on that. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos. If you have any questions on the Javlin Concepts AJAC 2.0 plate carrier, let me know. The level 3 plates are from Maverick Tactical. They make level 4 plates as well. They have a whole plate line. Check them out. Well priced and good. They're not certified like NGIC, but just know that it doesn't have to be. I know that's a debate either way, but to me, it doesn't bother me. I've seen enough videos of these being shot up and seen how they've reacted to that. Dangler was Ferro Concepts. Great company. Make awesome nylon gear. And did I miss anything? No. And the other product was from VX Concepts, was the shear holder. And don't forget, guys, from my guys on duty or anybody who's looking for a flex cuff holder, AXL makes this flex cuff holder board that mollies into your back panel or mollies into any panel. Super cool there. And that's it, guys. Like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your go-to setup is. Let me know what your plate carrier is, and I will see you on the next one. Dale.